Kylie wants to get dinner before she watches her favorite TV show. She wants to go to the closest restaurant so that she doesn't miss the show. The map on the right is showing Kylie's house, which is down here in quadrant 3. Whoops. And then it shows the 3 different places that are closest to her house where she could go get some food. So we're trying to figure out which one should she get food from. And essentially what this means is which one is the closest, or which one has the shortest distance. So what this means is we're going to find the distance of from Kylie's house to each of the different places where she could get food, and then we'll see which one is the smallest or the shortest distance. So the distance formula, just as a refresher, is the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So the first thing I need to do is identify my points. I can't figure out my distances if I don't have my coordinates. So Kylie's house is left 1 unit and down 6, so that would be -1, -6. The taco truck is left 8 units, so that would be -80. Wendy's is up 3 units, so that would be 0, 3. And finally, White Castle is right 8 units, and it's down 6 units. So this would be 8, 6. All right, so I'm going to find the distance from Kylie's house to the taco truck first. Okay, so I have the 2 points, -1, -6, and -80. Oops. So I'm going to plug those into my distance formula. I'm going to label my points x1, y1, x2, y2, just so that I can help myself keep things straight. So if I plug this into the distance formula, it's going to look like this. So I would have x2, which is -1, -8, I'm sorry, minus -1, which is x1. And then I want to subtract my y's, so I'm going to do 0 minus -6. And then both of those are parentheses squared. Now, in the past, we've done problems where we've had to simplify this, and it takes a long time. But in this problem, all we're really looking to see is which distance is the shortest. So I'm just going to type this into my calculator exactly how it's written right now. I'm not going to simplify anything. And I'm going to just get a decimal. And that decimal is 10.8. It goes on for a while, but for our purposes, it's good enough to just do 1 decimal place. All right, so I know now that my distance between Kylie's house and the taco truck is 10.8 units. All right, so now let's do the distance from Kylie's house to Wendy's. So the points I'm going to be using for Wendy's are Kylie's house, which is -1, -6, and then Wendy's, which is 0, 3. So I'm going to label my points x1, y1, x2, y2, and we're just going to do the exact same thing. So we're going to plug these points into the distance formula. What I kind of like to do sometimes with my distance formula is I like to write it out. So I put in everything that's part of the formula, and then I just have to plug in the numbers. And I don't have to worry so much about all my signs because I'm only focusing on the points now. So x2 and x1 are 0 and -1, and y2 and y1 are 3 and -6. So now all I'm going to do is plug these new points into my calculator, exactly how they're written on my paper. I don't have to do any simplifying. And the decimal that I get here, if I round it to the 10th place, is 9.1. So already I can tell that the taco truck is out because it's farther away from Kylie's house than Wendy's is. Now, to find the distance to White Castle, we're going to cheat a little bit. Now you could go through the motions and do the distance formula and you will come out with the exact same answer. But when you have 2 points that are lined up either horizontally or vertically, it's really easy to figure out what the distance is without having to go through the whole formula. So if I start here at Kylie's house and I go straight across, that gets me to White Castle. So all I have to do is count how many boxes apart they are, and that will be my distance. So I know that they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 boxes away. So I know that my answer here is going to be 9. So now if I look at all 3 of my numbers, I can see that the smallest number is 9. So that means the answer to this question is that she should go to White Castle, because that's the one that is the closest to her house. It's the shortest distance.